So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sean Chen. I'm the CEO, co-founder of RightCapital. I'm here with my colleague, Song Chen, also my co-founder. RightCapital is the next generation financial planning solution designed for financial advisors. Financial advisor has been delivering holistic financial planning to their client in the past, but mostly for their high net worth client. Not so much for the mass affluent client. Financial planning process can be complicated, time-consuming, and expensive. So our vision at RightCapital is to create a cutting-edge technology that digitalizes and streamline the financial planning process, made it so easy for financial advisors to create a financial plan, and so intuitive for the client to understand their plan. So eventually enable financial advisor to profitably and efficiently to create financial plans and serve their mass affluent client. So we launched our services about 10 months ago. We've been getting a lot of tractions. We onboarded hundreds of financial advisor firms and with thousands of financial plans created in the last 10 months. So for the next couple of minutes, I'd like to walk you through a demo to see how easy it is to use RightCapital to create financial plans for your client. So the financial planning process starts with the information collection, which is completely digitalized in RightCapital. So advisor can easily send the email invitations to their client, and the client here can follow the guided step-by-step process to key in the key information into their system, including the date of birth information, the income, for example, multiple savings your client are having, and also net worth that include all the account holdings. We're partner with the account aggregation service provider, as well as building multiple direct integrations with many different data sources to make this process even easier. So once you complete the information collection process, I want to show you a sample plan we created. For this particular case, we have a sample household of Mary and John. They're in the mid-50s. They're making about $200,000 sort of household income. So what are the concerns? They're concerned about when can they retire. Are they going to run out of money? How to minimize the tax bill? How to optimize the Social Security? Can they fund all their children's educations? So really a typical mass affluent client. So you can see we actually built multiple modules in RightCapital to address all these needs. But today I'm going to really dive into the retirement planning as well as the tax planning. So here you can see the retirement planning. What you see here is the two key matrix. What we said is the probability of success, 63%. For those of you who are not sort of familiar with this concept, basically the probability of success represents the overall likelihood of this client meeting all their financial goals, reflecting all the resources, income, expense, financial goals that he or she has keyed into the system, and also reflecting the uncertainty of equity market returns, inflation, for example. So 63%, not good enough. So what we can do to improve this is where a financial advisor can actually expand the action item area. You can see there's multiple options. The advisor can actually interact and collaborate with the client to solve for solutions. So for example, why don't we look at the delayed retirement age for 2 years for both Mary and John. Probably we can try use a slightly more aggressive asset allocation strategies. We also have a Social Security optimization that help you to derive the optimal Social Securities. So immediately you can see the impact to your client's plan, and then we also show a side-by-side comparisons of the proposed and current. I'm going to skip a couple of other modules building the retirement planning analysis and fast forward to the tax planning. This is actually where RightCapital breaks new ground. We are the very first financial planning technology solution to actually have the capability to bring the detailed and very robust tax planning to your client. Tax is very important. It's an issue that everybody should be aware of. So I'm going to start with a projected overall tax rate over time. So what do you see here? Multiple different colors. They just represented sort of the average or the effective tax rate, the federal tax rate, the state tax rate. And you can see the trend, or the average tax rate seems to be going up steadily as the household is gaining more income over time. But there's definitely a very interesting trend right after retirement, around age 60. 67 before age 70, and that actually represents a really interesting, unique tax planning opportunity that I'm going to talk to you in a few seconds. But before we do that, I do want to dive into the detailed tax projection capability. So here you can actually see a very detailed, robust projected tax return for your client. You can see their 1040 forms line by line. And you can also see different tax schedules, including Schedule A, Schedule B, D, and all the AMT tax forms. We also have the capability to bring all the tax projection into the future years. So for the very first time, financial advisors have access to these very important information. They can gain a lot of insight, and they can actually deploy very different tactics strategy to save their client taxes. Just a few examples. Why don't we just raise 401k contributions for a couple $1,000 so we can minimize your AMT tax liability for next year? So your client wouldn't have to wait for next April to get surprised. Don't access more stock options. Do not liquidate any mutual fund with short-term gains for this year. So those are examples how you can use this tax projection capability. Lastly, I wanted to do a quick sort of walkthrough of a very innovative tax-efficient distribution strategy. So the question we're trying to answer here is for anyone, for your client who retire, they have asset in taxable account, tax-deferred account, and tax-free account. The question is, which account I'm going to take money from, in what sequence, so I can minimize my tax liability. So we actually import a very sophisticated algorithm to help you optimize that. So I'm going to skip all the details, but then you can actually see on the right section, we're showing by using an optimal strategy, we're saving your client about $750,000 taxes. Very powerful. So we're very excited about what we do, create real plan for real people. If you're interested to know more about us, please stop by our booth. Thank you.